I'm making this video so when you Google the name McCune, the first thing that pops up is this. And if you're trying to figure out if this guy's good or trustworthy, he's not. Before we talk about McCune, I think we need to get some context. When I was 20, 2 years on hormones, I was in a bar and I was roofied. And then consequently sexually assaulted. And I won't go into details for obvious reasons, but over the next week, it took all of my courage to go to the police. And when I got to the police, you know, they sat me down in this dingy room with this middle-aged man, and I explained to him everything that happened. I went through vivid detail for hours over all the awful things that happened to me. And I had his car number plate. I had security footage from the bar. I had texts and calls out to my friends and family begging for help. And this policeman, he looked me in the eye and he said, "There is nothing I can do." And when I see stuff like fucking McCune, the last thing I'm going to tell people is there is nothing I can do. I am angry that people like this can exist in our community. Sorry. I was trying to keep it together. I didn't do a very good job at that. So, give me a sec. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So, McCune, he's a D-list RuneScape creator. D-list is being generous. He works with some of the biggest creators on the platform. He's in Torvesta's videos, he's in Sea Engineer's videos, he helps out with Crusader Talent a lot, who I love, obviously. Don't read into that. And McCune here, he accrued over time this position of power, this minor position of power, but when men like this have control over even a few hundred people, they start to abuse this. And McCune, he had a Discord. And before we go forward, don't harass Sea Engineer, don't harass Torvesta. Obviously, they may not be aware of the full story of what this guy is. Like, this guy is a master manipulator, which I learned very personally. So, just, if you want to hate someone, hate McCune. Don't hate the people who associated with him. But McCune, he had this Discord. Let me tell you, it is not a place that anyone wants to be. So McCune, he's got his Discord. He's got his burgeoning RuneScape career. He's making a following. He's doing what all of us so desperately want. And a girl joins the Discord. And this girl, she's funny, she's cute, she's interesting, and everyone immediately falls in love with her because they're haughty incels and there's a woman in their presence.
Yeah, they were actually like really nice to me. We had some good times, like spent hours on voice and like video chats.
Over time, they become closer and closer friends. Of course, there are some red flags, but this girl, she thinks it's fine, you know, it's just boys being dudes. Was there any red flags or anything?
I mean, they're PvP guys, right?
But eventually, these guys, they start to stalk her, obviously, because when you're in a room with incels, of course, they're going to try and find every little information out about you.
And they found an old Reddit account of mine, right? It was like from a few years ago. I asked a question on a transgender-related subreddit.
So it wasn't even your Reddit account, it was just a random Reddit account.
Yeah, it was like an old-ass Reddit account, right?
That implies that they were just searching every single thing that could be even tangentially related to you.
I couldn't even find a Reddit account myself anymore. This dude could be a private detective, right? Because he has some mad skills.
So they don't tell her. They have this secret chat for men only to, all I can assume is abuse women. I don't understand why you would have a chat like that elsewhere. He explained to me that it was for the jokes that are not okay for the ladies. Well, as a lady that makes jokes about incest, I don't think you need to protect us, buddy. So they find out about this trans woman, and they're livid, you know, because they were all turned on. They're all attracted to this world, and how dare she not paste on her forehead that she's trans. How dare she just act like a normal person in a world? Why? How dare she not tell the world that I am something to be lesser and feared by you? And this angers them. and suddenly they start a scheme.
One morning, I did LMS. I joined the call, and he was like, "Can I borrow your T-bow for a raid?"
She's lent her T-bow, which, if you don't know in RuneScape, is a very expensive item. It's worth like 1,000 real-world dollars or something if you sell it.
And there were like multiple people in that call, right?
Yeah.
That I trusted and that I liked and that I spent a lot of time with.
She lends this T-bow over, and McCune makes a secret group chat, or a secret group channel for 15 of his elitists. Sorry, it's hard not to laugh at this guy when he's saying, "Hey, elites," at the start of the message. But in this channel, he makes this post, and this is the post that was sent to me anonymously, and it fucking boiled my blood. This isn't even the worst that he does, by the way. Stay tuned for more. But this is disgusting. So, he dehumanizes this woman, explains that people are being attacked by her or approached by her, by a transgender. Fucking, I hate when people put A in front of transgender. It's like saying A white. It's like saying A black. Like, it's just fucked. After dehumanizing her, putting a lot of slurs out there, they get to the bottom where they're going to vote if they steal this girl's money and split it amongst them.
He actually like one-ticked like a fucking 10-way thing. Like he accepted the trade. He blocked me on Discord, removed me from the call, and blocked me, added me to ignore on RuneScape. Like in one tick, right? If he could do that while PKing, like he wouldn't have gotten.
He wouldn't have lost 2.4 mil to rot.
I didn't know like what the reason was at the time, so I was like PMing people.
So you had no idea that he was sort of doing this conspiracy.
The Discord post, right, where I did like this whole voting on my fate kind of thing,
Yeah,
like
fuck,
voting
man.
on my TiVo and like actually like setting up a fucking giveaway and all that kind of stuff with my TiVo. I didn't know that went on like behind, like in the background, right? So a lot of people actually were in on this. But then again, there were also people that didn't agree with it, but also like didn't warn me beforehand, right? They knew it was going to happen. My TiVo is gone. I accepted, I traded it over to someone on the internet. And they yoinked it. That's nothing new,
Yeah.
That shit like that happens, and I take full responsibility for that. And then they were like, "Yeah, it's because you lied and you tricked people," and they got really angry. I was like, "Okay, so what did I lie about?" And then they started talking about, "Yeah, we found out you had surgeries and blah 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 blah." It's like, okay, yeah. It's not a secret. If you had asked me about it, I would have told you. But I don't feel obligated to share those details about my personal life.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something you have to proclaim, That it's so ridiculous that they feel slighted for this. After I release this post, more and more people keep coming forward, and more horrible things have come out about this guy. He bots, obviously he scams. That's all par for the course here. If you ever want to keep your items, don't trust him. Makes sense. I don't know why you would trust a man like this. I mean, yeah, he bought his infernal cape, all the scummy stuff that you picture. When you picture a bad RuneScape player, he did all the good stuff. This story, it irks me to my core. So, there's a girl. She knows McCune personally, and they start a relationship. She sends naked photos, as you do with a partner, I don't condone it. Probably don't send your naked body to anyone, because they could turn out to be like this. And she starts talking about getting a boob job. More power to her. If you want to do whatever you want to your body, do whatever you want. McCune goes ahead and he starts selling these nudes for in-game money. And not even a lot of in-game money. I know that shouldn't be the most disgusting part about this, but he goes out of his way to sell the nudes for 15 mil, which is the equivalent to like $15. I'm not good with real world trading, against the rules, but I assume 1 mil is $1 basically. So for $15, he's just using this woman to make a pittance of money that, like, he's not doing it for the money. This is just power and abuse that this guy's doing. He's just in a position of power and he wants to, show this woman that he controls her. Like, I don't I just can't get into the brain of someone that would do something like this. This is a felony in the state where he's from. I won't say it. People have told me all of his personal details now. I won't say where he's from, but this is a felony. He could go to prison for years just for doing this revenge porn. And that is sickening. The anonymous source that was telling me all this was informing me that she still talks to him regularly, and she's still in the community purely because she's terrified. Like, she's so scared of what this man can do to her that she's powerless to do anything. Imagine someone holding that over you for the rest of your life. This guy just has complete power over her with this blackmail that he probably has already sold to all his degenerate little friends for nothing. For 15 mil. That's like 2 hours of bossing. That's insane. It's just horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. And then people keep sending me other screenshots of evidence, like he's been muted for spamming racial slurs. Big shocker. There's mountains and mountains. There's a whole other drama about making fun of someone for being shot. Like, there is just pages and pages, so much pages of shit that I can't even go through here because of how much this fucking cunt has done to so many people. I post this tweet with a bunch of screenshots explaining everything he's done, and he goes, "Yo, Hannah, I'm the victim here. These are all edited and faked by a rival clan." And I'm like, okay, I've talked to maybe about 15 people who could corroborate the story, but sure, explain to me why it's edited. And I was trying to be amicable, trying not to piss this guy off, because God knows what he could do. He explains to me that there was a guy who had a girlfriend, and he liked the girlfriend, and so the guy went into a jealous rage and faked a bunch of DMs to make him look like a bad guy to ruin his reputation and career. And I was like, that doesn't seem like a true story. And then he's like, no, trust me, everyone you've been talking to is an alt from this guy. Keeping in mind, these accounts, I won't show them for obvious reasons, but they've all had posts going back 4 to 5 years about RuneScape. Like, that's a dedication to fuck with someone. And one of the people I'm talking to, they take a picture of her face with Hanannie written on a piece of paper. Like, what is more evidence than that she's who she's saying she is? And he's like, no, it's all a ploy. They're all paid actors. And then he makes a group chat with a bunch of people in his Discord saying, look, I have trans friends. These are my trans friends. And I'm sitting there thinking, these could just be fucking random cis dudes that you've hired to be like, look, we've got gay friends. That's the worst excuse. Anyway, so he keeps lying to me for hours. We talk for hours and hours and hours, and he's trying to convince me. And admittedly, I have no concrete proof either way. It's just their word against his. There's nothing I can do. And I wanted to do my due diligence. I wanted to be fair. And in the fucking conversations, he misgenders me to my face. So I go, why don't you just describe trans people to me? Because a transphobe, as hard as they try, they can never properly describe trans people without showing their transphobia. Eventually, after hours and hours of lying, hours and hours of back and forth, hours of him describing this rival clan that happens to have all of my close friends in it, are all on this conspiracy to take him down, eventually I realize, yo, I could just join the Discord. I could just see it for myself. So I joined his Discord, and it's all right there. Not even deleted. Not even tried to cover up. I guess he just assumed I wouldn't be smart enough to think to join the Discord. Admittedly, it took me a few hours, but it's all there. I searched all the slurs, and there is pages and pages of horrible things that this community has done. This community called Gwens, I think they are. Gwens, anti-Gwens, maybe? I don't know who the fuck they are. This is the first I've ever heard of the guy. We should talk about the furthering on of this story where he's messaged you now saying he'll give the T-Bow back.
He suddenly started DMing me, right?
Out of the blue from nowhere. Finally unblocked.
Yeah, saying that if you remove everything from Twitter, he's going to give the T-Bow back. From all the money that the people that got from the giveaway, right? They're going to give it all back. Which are the people that I affected negatively in their life.
Yeah, by being trans. If he didn't say, like, on the condition that I take it down, it might be a sign of goodwill. But the fact that he's only going to give it back to you if we shut up is ridiculous.
Yeah. This is like signing some NDA
it's
stuff, right? It's like blackmailing. Like, you know what? You delete this, and I'll move on with my scammy ass life, and I'll give you your bow back that we stole months ago from you.
Well, I can
Right?
assure you that no matter what he does, I'm not backing down here.
I don't care about the bow. It hurt me that the fact that I made like a lot of friends there, and like we spent so much time on like voice calls and like video calls. And the second they found out about me, I was suddenly not the person that they liked anymore.
For all the people watching, just imagine you have this friendship group that you adore, and then suddenly, without any explanation for a way that you were born, you're suddenly removed and like ostracized without any input of your own. That's fucked on any
Exactly.
regard.
It is fucked. It was like, oh yeah, this is what harassment feels like again. I almost forgot, right? But God bless, they showed me some stuff that I.
You finally remember the good old days.
It's like, oh yeah, that's some good nostalgia for being bullied for who you are. As these are not like 16-year-old bullies, right?
Yeah.
Some have kids. You know, one of them is a cop. Whatever. Like these are not just like random 16-year-olds that have no life experience, right?
I had a duty to bring this all to you, and just the stuff he's done is disgusting, and that's only the stuff we know about. There could be so much more under the surface of this guy. So McCune, if you're watching this, which I know you are, people like you are usually a raging narcissist. Sorry, didn't mean to have a personal attack. No, I do. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? A philosophy I live my life by is the mark of a person is how they respond after adversity. You may have done unforgivable things, but if you can turn around and be an okay person, if you can stop promoting this community of outright bigotry and hatred, if you can stop abusing the women who trust you, then maybe there's hope for you. But if you can't learn how to be a decent human being, if you keep lying to people like me, it's claiming it's all edited and faked, if you don't take responsibility for your actions, you will never grow as a person. There is good in you, McCune. Just grow up. Just think about the people you affect. These are people. I know in your little twisted mind, trans women aren't human and women are lesser or whatever, but just learn compassion, learn respect. You can be a good person. There is nothing in you that is innately evil. Just be better. And if you are better, I'll make a fucking PKing video with you one day. We'll go PK and we can laugh all about this. Probably not. Just don't do anything like this again, man.
There were also like some girls in that CC that were like that have like trans friends that deal with mental issues and like being suicidal and all that kind of stuff. So they know like how tough it is, and they were like, yeah, I don't agree with it at all, and then they keep on hanging with the clan and with those people. For example, when I got bullied like in school, right? You have the kids that don't agree with it, but also they don't speak up and they don't do anything about it.
Well, those people are just as complicit.
Like, I was friends with these people. Like, we talked about our kids together and all this kind of stuff. If you don't speak up, or at least try to help the person, or just have a talk with the person that is bullying them and trying to reason with them, you're guilty for the situation as well, right?
Yeah.
Because for the victim, it's like it looks like you have zero support.
It's like this internalized fear that all trans people have, is that the entire world is against you and that there is no good.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what leads to a lot of those suicides and things. But if people can stand up and talk, then maybe a few trans people and any minority out there would feel a little less alone.
Minorities or people with stigmatized identities, right? They feel lonely, they feel alone, and they feel like a lot of people are against them because the vocal part are usually the ones that are either like big allies or the people that are way against it.
Yeah.
You're the middle part, which is the biggest part of the population, right? That either like aren't loud enough to hear, or they just don't speak up at all.
And if you're watching this and you know he's in your clan, you know you're in his community, you know anything about these people, maybe you edit for him because he has a YouTube channel, he has a Twitch. I don't know if I said that, but don't promote this man who uses his influence for evil. That's all I can say. And if you're watching this and you're like, I want to fucking harass this guy, don't. He's still a dude. He's just a dumb dude who got lucky, got a community, and then took advantage of that. He's not some pinnacle of evil, though. Stuff he did, very evil. What? Jesus Christ. I just don't harass him. Don't harass him. I hated him. I do hate him. I hate him with every single fiber of my being that a person could do this, but don't. Yeah, I don't know. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I'm sure it'll help.
Yeah, no worries. It was a big ramble. I'm sorry for that. Yeah.
Mate, all my videos are just rambles.
I love your videos, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I try my hardest.
Trying to not trying to be a suck up now. But,
no, I mean, feel free to suck up. It's great for my ego.
The final thing is I'm really happy that it now got out. That's the most important thing, right? The reason these things got spread and the reason why I'm telling my story is because I don't want this to happen to any other person, right? This could be the trigger for someone to be like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into detail, but this could be a big trigger for someone to be hurt like this or targeted for who they are. And yeah, I wouldn't wish this on anybody else. And I hope that we can avoid that from happening, like specifically with McCune, but also like in general, you know. So if anyone is dealing with stuff like this, yeah, feel free to reach out and like let someone know. And there are a lot of supporters, you know.
If anyone's watching this and they're in a similar position, feel free to come to me or any member of my community, and we will try and help you in any way that we can.